Welcome, guys, to our panel today. And for the beginning, let's introduce our guest here today. Can you
Right. Hi everyone, I'm David Ching, Investment Director at Animoca Brands. For Animoca, we have been in the Web3 space for a relatively long time. We're very strong in consumer apps in the past, but we have been investing a lot in other areas as well. And one of our focus right now is AI, in Alpha Bay as well. Really great to be here.
Hi everyone, this is Luchang. I'm founding partner of Arcane Capital. I'm also the global ambassador of Draper University, started by Team Draper in Silicon Valley. I'm running the Arcane Capital for like the past 5 years, and now it's on Fund 2. And we're backed by Tether. Tether is our biggest anchor LP. So one of our major pieces is focusing on the proliferation of stablecoin and also payment railway global remittance. Besides that, we do focus on other trajectories like AI at the convergence of AI and blockchain, and also RWA and decentralized finance.
Hi everyone, this is Walter from Business Development at Ching. So we are one of the largest blockchain network out there. And I think the interesting thing about our ecosystem is that any vertical can grow, right, from memes or even DeFi. However, historically, looking at this year, the key verticals that have been growing is our AI, RWA, and stablecoins. So it's great to talk about AI here.
Hey everybody, my name is Keira. I'm with Image Ventures, so I'm our portfolio manager. This means that we actively involved in the management and giving advice to our portfolio. So we have over 200 projects in our portfolio. We are very founder focused, so we do a lot of due diligence on our founder. We specialize in pre-season seeds, so we understand that we are investing in the person and the idea at these early stages, and we like to work with them intimately to make sure they can pull off the entire project and we feel where we're at.
Thank you for your introduction. And myself, I'm influencers in Twitter and Elizabeth, and also my marketing agency. So we know now is AI is the most hot topics in crypto, and also we invited our guests today. They are very doing deep research into the AI part. So for the beginning, I want to ask, how do you think the QL for decentralized AI look like in the shift towards agent economics, and what to make it fundamentally impossible to build it as centralized Web2 platform? Firstly, I want to get how do you think that's possible?
Yeah, I think AI and Web3 is a perfect match because naturally when we're entering the agentic AI phase where agent will start to make more autonomous decisions for users. So we need to give empower the AI agents, right, with something that is transparent and trackable, and our Web3 wallet is a very natural phase to give them. So Web3 and the blockchain is perfect for that because it's trustless, permissionless, and it's traceable. So whatever the AI agent do for you, you can track, and the AI agent can make microtransactions for you as well. And that pairing with a lot of, for example, DeFi applications, DeFi usage is the perfect use case for AI. So I think that will be very important use case.
Thank you. I like these answers. And how do you think about the use case of Keira in the compared to centralized Web2 compared to Web3? About the internet says Luchang, Zheng.
So I think there are two ways to look at this problem. Firstly is at a very fundamental infrastructure. Decentralized GPU will definitely drastically change or reduce the cost of central computing. And look at all those projects out there spending majority of their fund-raised capital to buy GPU for the inference, for the compute power. That's such a waste in the Web2 world because we have a better solution with the decentralized GPU and the compute power. That's number one. Number two, just according to what David said, I think the AI agents really do make a lot of difference than the Web2 traditional AI methodology because the AI agents not only execute, they own the sovereignty. They are the owners of their execution. So we don't need to hoard our data all back to the centralized platform like Web2. But people as the decision maker, as the value provider, and also with the agent together, we are the owners. We bring the sovereignty of what they're doing and how they execute and the result as well. And being incentivized by the mechanism of Web3, I think this kind of ecosystem will survive.
Thank you very much. I know Walter for a long time. I know you work in the BNB Ching. I think you definitely also connect a lot of AI projects. How do you think that?
Well, I think that's definitely busy in a way, but in a good way, because I think our ecosystem has been growing a lot. Like, ever since I joined, I think we have doubled. I kept telling everyone keeping the growth, and I think this year we're having like weekly all-time highs and so on. So I think it's great, and overall, because I feel that BNB Chain is able to really help developers grow in the space where we are one of the few like the largest blockchain with a full suite of supports for developers. Like all the way from like early stage, if you're just developing, even if it's just a 1-man, 3-man team, you can join our hackathons to get exposure. You get the chance to be interviewed by Easy Labs for our incubation program that we collaborate with. And then develop stronger projects, high potential. We can push towards more PR support, marketing support, campaigns, or like what you can see at Token 2049 itself. We have events that we co-brand and our strong projects that manage to be on Binance, Alpha, and so on. We build all these things up, from the ideation stage all the way to your post-deployment, to your product lifecycle and so on. So I think it's always a great journey. So happy to connect with all the developers out there to build on the opportunity.
Thank you, Walter. So next is Keira. How do you think the Web3 AI to compare to Web2?
So I think if we look at Web3 specifically, is that it brings traceability and verification online, right? So if we look at all of the Web2 apps that we're currently using, these are usually in banking situations, either for entertainment or even for social purposes. So why should we bring any of these apps on chain? And how can AI be integrated into these apps to become more efficient and be easier for people to use? And I think that the cool thing about AI is that when we integrate them into apps, is these guys can work 24/7. They have no bad days off, and you can actually start to build circular economies inside your app. So there's a way to boost your ecosystem. You can incentivize your apps to become actually just part of your community. So I think it's really interesting when we look at how how AI is going to be integrated with these different apps across all of the different ecosystems. So I think bringing it on chain is allowing people to become incentivized and build those economies and make sure that it's traceable and verifiable as well.
Thank you very much. I know you also in the VC part you do a lot of investment. So for an investment perspective, what's the most critical missing infrastructure pieces need to unlock $1 billion valuations for automatic AI agent network?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Well, personally, I think that data is really important for AI agents because it's these agents are acting on whatever we're feeding them. So bad quality data in makes bad quality AI agents out. So if we look at the closed ecosystems and we don't know where this data is coming from, where bias is being built into these different agents, and how they are actually becoming a lot more unified in the answers. I'm sure many people in this room use Perplexity or Claude or whatever it is, but if you ask them the same question, they're all kind of coming a bit unified. So if we look at how you can create new data, and I think a lot of the data online has been scraped, is about where we can combine new data sets, and that's where we can find a lot of value in building out these new different agents. So leave it there.
Thank you. So next is Debbie. How do you think that for your investment part, how do you think we can achieve that?
In terms of our investment direction, I think we did have spent a lot of time looking at AI agents projects in the past kind of few quarters, but I think the narrative has changed a lot in the last few months, right? So, previously, I think a lot of the agents, they were, just wrapper around, wrapper on the LLMs. But, as the narrative of out-of-band also start to emerge, I think increasingly we need real cash flow, real TVL, agent that can really be trustworthy and, be having high security, that people can believe on to make DeFi transaction for you, can buy things for you. So I think that narrative have evolved in terms of AI and AI agents. Another direction that we are looking a lot at is robotics, because beyond AI agents, I think having the physical body empowering the AI agent is the natural next stage. And as a lot of the large founders, Elon, Jensen, they have been saying about robots. So I think combining Web3 and robotics, I think is also a big area that we're focusing a lot on.
Thank you very much. So next is about our also investment. Zheng, how do you think that question?
So firstly, I want to add on what David just said, like the combination of AI and robotics. It really reminds me of one of my favorite movies called Wall-E. Has anybody seen that? Wall-E, yeah. Right, that's kind of a little bit dystopia than we expected, because human beings' functions just got deteriorated because they create two mighty robotics and AI combined together, and they are willing to do everything for us, and the human being just end up almost doomed. So obviously we don't want things to happen like that, like what the animation described. But we're looking for someday, all the robots and AI agents can help us do the dirty work, and but it won't drive people to be lazy human being. It will sometimes stimulate our intellectual creativity, and also to make human being a better race. So besides that, to answer the moderator's question, I feel like what we're looking for in the fund, so take a metaphor. We're probably looking at somebody or some team which can build a highway instead of fancy cars, which means that you need infrastructure which can really act alike the reputation and sustainability and interoperability, everything together, like a highway. Some teams are building the fancy cars. Some teams are maybe building the red light, green light. Some teams are building, sideways. But we need a highway to actually hold everything together, to integrate every agent, to collaborate with them. So we're lacking of that interoperability layer right now. It will be a huge project. I'm not sure it's only will be done by the big corporates, or there will be some innovation from bottom up. But we're looking forward to support highways like that instead of investing in those fancy cars running all that. Because without that infrastructure, no matter how fancy the car is, just like the traffic here in Singapore, you can only see the F1 racing, but every time I try to call a Grab here, it's just waiting and the traffic jam, right? So it's the same. So you need to build the infrastructure first.
I very agree with your opinion. It's very important for us to build the infrastructure. So how do you think about these questions, Walter?
I think for AI side of things, I agree with what speakers have said. For us, we're an infrastructure, right? So we sort of welcome everything on board, like the roads, the fancy cars, and everything. Because and I think the key infrastructure now that we think we are looking into is the agent-to-agent communication. Because like what David mentioned, AI agent, the main gist is to get them to be automated. You deploy a strategy, and then they learn and reinforce the strategy, and then they execute autonomously. And then for that to happen right now, the main difference with Web2 financial side of things is that if I transfer, let's say, USD from my Singapore bank to a US bank, it's going to go through governments and regulations. For human to human, that is possible. A bit slow, but possible. If it's an agent, I think right now regulations will have a problem. But you won't have that problem if you attach a wallet to an AI agent. On the chain, the USD, whatever stable coins is transferred as a finality after the block. So right now the main issue is that AI agents can hallucinate and so on, but I have seen a lot of developers trying to solve this issue already. So I think I look forward to the angle. To add on, Google also is working on the open source framework AP2 for agent to agent. It applies more to the like PayPal, PayNow side of things, but BNB chain may also chip in to work towards contributing to this open source framework so that all developers can make use of this, maybe via MCP for easy configurations. I think once that framework is up, and that's where the fancy cars can even get fancier. I look forward to seeing like autonomous AI agents on BNB chain.
And we also look forward to more projects in BNB chain. We all know that everyone now is using ChatGPT, and we also think of the race of agent requirements need new tokenomics models. What are the key economic incentives needed to ensure that decentralized AI agent align with political goals and also act ethics with our multiple agent systems? How do you think that questions, Dave?
Well, I think in terms of the agents and the tokenomics, I think right now in the beginning, I think one of the key issues we need to solve first is in terms of the data integrity, right? So because right now there's been a lot of projects, a lot of different ways to try to onboard more data, find more data for the AI, to train the AI and for AI agents use. But we still haven't really solved the pain point about whether those data are real or are they really useful. So because if think about if you put in useless data, then there will be incorrect outcome as well, right? So I think that's one challenge that we are facing. And in terms of the tokenomics, or in terms of how to solve that as well, I think there has been I see some projects that have found a different mechanism to work about that. For example, based on the value of the transaction or the verification request, there's more gas or fees that need to be staked or need to be verified in terms of executing the transaction. So there will be a different verification mechanism, verification nodes that help verify that. So the output value will be proportional to the value input required, right? So this also relate back to a lot the point that I alluded to earlier, which is rather than just having a lot of fake users, fake agents, generating different maybe less useful transactions, we start to see more important transactions having a higher value backing them, and higher TVL in terms of the infrastructure and chain. So I think that is something that we need to look at, and of course some revenue sharing mechanism in terms of which node or validator contribute to helping verify that transaction.
Thank you, David. Yeah, we all know it's very important for we can build a very incentive economics for the AI agent. How do you think that questions, Keira?
Okay, so I think that tokenomics is going to be very interesting when we start to include agents in them, because you have 100% of your supply, right, and where you're allocating that. I think it will be very interesting if we get, a certain percent to the community, but are we going to get a certain percent that's going to be allocated to autonomous agents? Because these guys are doing work for you. These guys have skin in the game. I think that they should be have tokens staked in your economy, and you need to incentivize these agents to continuously do good work for you. So I think that might be a new tokenomics model that we're going to see evolving, is that part of the rewards are going to be going to these autonomous agents. So, yeah.
Nice. It's very perfect answers. And Zheng, I like your speaking. You give me a lot of good examples. How do you think that question?
So probably there's not going to be a proper metaphor for this, but all I can think of is not like the fundamental like agent communication and token metrics. It's about the hierarchy and the design at a very high level. Because I was thinking that in the end, they are designed by human being, at least for now, right? With automation of certain level. But who can really design, or how can people really put those good mechanisms into use? For example, we only want to reward the good behavior instead of basing on the moral standard. We want it to be a economic activity to be written in the smart contract to reward the good behavior instead of saying, hey, the designers think that has better moral course and that is the bad one. So it's coming all down to the designer of this project or of this AI layer. It's not about agents' behavior in the end. So one question to the audience. How many of you are builders? Raise up your hand. Okay, yeah, almost half. Have you thought about how to design the intricate token matrix from the beginning? That's great, because all that derive from the bottom of your heart is that you want to make better or positive impact to the human society instead of ripping off everybody, instead of pump and dump. Maybe you are designing this token from that good perspective, but in the end, the market can drive you to the other way. So what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't really matter how intricate the matrix is for the AI agents or the token incentives. It's about the founders, the constantly changing and pivoting. Because at the end of the day, when you go exchange listing, they may ask you to change all the tokenomics. But at that time, are you thinking of dumping on the community? Are you thinking of, hey, we really need this token design to incentivize good economical behavior? So think about that throughout all the years building the project. We're trying to make positive impact. We're trying to make this industry thrive, and that's how we can stay here, right? So yeah, that's one thing.
Thank you very much. So looking ahead, how will the government and the capital allocation process? Currently, we saw that a lot of done by humans and DAOs, but fundamentally restricted by verifiables, on-chain actions of automatically AI agent. And I want this questions, I think is Walter, you can maybe connect a lot of AI agent project already building the BNB chain. How do you think that?
The question is capital allocation to the agents?
Yes.
As in from the community capital allocation?
Yeah, how will the governments
or from VC?
For they building the by humans and DAOs?
Okay. Alright, I think probably about the economics of AI agents, right? Like how they determine whether the AI agents are high value or low value. So I think previously there are pretty good pointers from the speakers about the tokenomics. So when I think of decentralization of Web3, I like to zoom out a little bit, like leveraging on the power of people, right? So there are some questions and problems raised where about shielding and pump and dump. So I think it lies to the fungibility of the tokens attached to the AI agent actually. So right now a lot of AI agents. So David also mentioned there are a lot of wrappers of GPT. So you can't identify that, but there's AI agents, and then they have a fungible token, which is like a token taker. And then you look at the price, but it may not equals to the quality of the agents. So one way to actually solve this could be that if you look at BNB Chain's GitHub repo, we have a new application proposal. The first application is because we used to have BEPs. Right now we have a BNB application proposal 578, which is about non-fungible agents. So you are actually translating the NFT narrative into AI agents. So what happens is that AI agents, like you can train and program AI agents. They are in the collections of maybe 1,000, but each have different strategies and objectives. And what happens is that the AI agents will perform and the market will price its value. Because now it's an NFT. So let's say you input like a set of strategies, trading strategies to this agent, and this agent shows that over 30 days it has 30% profit. The other shows an 80% profit. So naturally the market will rate the other agent higher and price it higher. On inversely, if an AI agent is performing, like it lost its entire fund, so that NFT will be worth zero, right? So that is the power of the market. I think it's the fairest and most accurate way, and it's in the spirit of Web3. So yeah, I think that can help both capital allocation from users all the way to VCs, and do check that out at EMBChain's GitHub. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And Debbie, how do you think we can do more things for the automatic AI agent?
We can do more things for automatic AI agent. Okay. Sorry.
You mean what can we do for the AI agent?
Yeah, and how can we use that governmental and capital allocation process to help them to build more things?
Yeah, well, I think at the moment, there's a few directions, right? That in terms of application of AI agents, that I think is very valuable. One thing is the DeFi side that I mentioned. I think in terms of governance, it is also another area that I think there's a lot of innovation. Because if you have participated in DAOs before, maybe there's no proposal for maybe like 3 months, but then in 1 month suddenly there's 20 proposals. So, as human, we might not be able to keep track of it. Every proposal, analyze it, vote in time before the deadline and so on. So one application of these AI agents is, you define the directions, right, and metrics, right, for yourself or for your entity, and then the AI agent can decide and participate in the proposals for you. And so these are application of AI agents in terms of DAOs and governance, and I think this will be a very useful and native use case for Web3. And because it's completely transparent and trackable, I think it will be actually a very useful use case as well. So yeah, I think this is one thing that.
Thank you. So next is about Zheng. How do you think we can build that things on chain? How can we bring that more AI agent on chain data?
I think naturally a lot of AI agents are built on chain right now. Concerning data part, it's how we can make it more transparent. So transparency, efficiency is always, at the two sides of the spectrum. If you want a central power, well, yeah, of course it's going to be more efficient and faster execution and stuff. But if you want more transparency, if you want to verify everything, show to everybody, then that comes with a cost. So we'll need to play an intricate balance between that. But pushing data on chain probably will need more oracles with better data feeding from the real world. And then since once the data is on chain, and then we can just process as we want with all the agents communicate with each other. But I think eventually what we want is the market-driven allocation instead of like a lot of human inferences. So the market-driven allocation will make eventually the AI agents connections more efficient and allocation more profitable. Yeah.
Thank you. So I think the last answer is also from the VC, Keira. How do you think that question?
I think, yeah, so the question is like how we're going to be integrating AI agents into venture capital allocation. And as you think about how we currently allocate capital is we do a lot of due diligence on the founders. So I think that we can start to use AI agents to increase the efficiency of doing our research, doing our DD, having that first scan of those deal flow, and it will actually be able to give a lot more founders a lot more opportunity to get the foot in the door of the VC. I know I'm absolutely flooded, and so probably everybody on this panel with so many pitches and so many deals coming in across many different places. So I think that yes, AI agents can be helpful in capital allocation, but I think if we look at the front end, which is the research, we can train these agents on previous unicorns, or we can train these agents on at PhD level, so we can actually remove the human variability and I guess streamline our decision into where we're going to allocate capital. But I think that there should still be human interaction into actually writing those physical checks and moving the capital around. I don't think we're there quite yet.
Yeah, it's still so far we need to build. I'm very thankful for our coming today and our guests, Davey, Zheng, and Walter, and also Keira. And also thank for our listener today. Our guests come to here to support us. Our panel is in. Thank you.